All right, welcome, guys. This is Breakfast with the Brand, the number one podcast in the world for entrepreneurs and leaders who want to go from bland to industry leading brand. If you are tuned in live, go ahead and put your flames in the comments. Phenomenal morning to you, wherever you are tuning around the world. We have an amazing show for you today. I'm joined by the king of branding himself, Mr. Shaan Rais, and let's get into it. What's up,
Hey,
Shaan?
I'm super happy to be here, man. Super happy to be here. Been very, very busy. A lot of traveling, a lot of movement taking place. But you guys know, how do you say this? The music and the money follows movement. Let's go.
True. The music and the money follows movement. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, man.
I've never heard that.
People don't. Some people get it. Some people don't. Like I have a phenomenal background. I love music. And let me just say this, guys. You have to be able to flow. Your life, your business, your conversation, it should all be about a flow. If you're not in flow, then you're out of flow, right? You're off beat. You're off beat. Nothing is going to be right if you're off beat. So you want to tap into that flow space and get in flow.
That's right. Guys, don't forget to check in the comments. We're looking at the comments. I want to send a quick shout out. I see Coach B. Coach B, shout out
Phenomenal,
to you. Charles Mack.
phenomenal
Right.
morning.
I think Charles Mack is he also a Computer World Modern Inc.? I think he
Phenomenal
might.
morning. Not sure. Not sure. Let's go.
Right. All right, Sean. So let's get right into it. Don't want to waste any time. Tell us about your adventures, man. I've been looking at your social media. I've been seeing you popping up in different locations. People have been asking me a little bit about, where's Sean, and I guess, missing you a little bit. So tell us about the last couple of weeks and sort of what the brand has been up to.
JV, right? Joint ventures, collaboration, cooperative initiatives is what I would say, right? Cooperative initiatives. So I don't know, 3, 4 states in the last 2 weeks, 2 states coming up, at least two, maybe three in the next 2 weeks. Okay, so watch this. We outside. Super simple. We outside, right? And most people think in terms of limitation. So I put up a post not too long ago while I think I was with Grant Cardone, and I said, small minds think competition, large minds think collaboration, right, guys? So you've seen me with the Eric Thomases, the Dan Locks, the Jay Abrahams, the Grant Cardones. My question is, where are you in this dynamic? Where are you in this dynamic? So I guarantee you this. So most people have again, it's a scarcity mindset of limitation. They think it's crowded at the top and there's no room for them, but they don't have the fortitude to actually take a look. They just assume. And a lot of people that are afraid of collaboration and think competition impress their scarcity and limitation upon you. So they say it's lonely at the top. Not. It's not at all. It's phenomenal at the top, right? It's phenomenal in first class. You're never in first class by yourself. That's number one, right? It's a party up there. Like 36,000 feet, it's a party up there. I don't drink. So sometimes people look at me in first class and wonder why I'm there because, they come around and ask if you want drinks. I don't drink. So they're like, what is he doing in first class? If you're not in, I come from a place where second place means first loser. I come from a place where second place means first loser. So the question is, where else would you be? When you get on when you take a plane, right? When you're booking your flight, where else would you be? When you see yourself, when you weigh yourself, when you evaluate yourself and you're getting your plane tickets, the question is, where would you be? And don't think for a moment that I'm stuck on myself, egotistical or arrogant at all, because I'm not. But I built my way up, right? So whether your economy justifies you being in first class or not, you have to set the target, guys. Like, write that down and underline it 5 times. You need to set the target. You have to set the target, and then you move to target. You close the gap between the target and where you at. That's it. People say, why are you still in school? Because I got a target, and each degree closes the distance between me and the target. All of the hundreds of thousands of dollars that we've put in here closes the target. I was on the backstage when we was on the back of this. I was telling Mr. B to set up the videos for the dissertation because all of the work that we do closes the target. What targets are you closing? What targets are big enough? Let me tell you, woman asked me not too long. She said, "Are you a billionaire? You're doing the $1 billion brand, and I hear the $1 billion billions, the brand to billions. Are you a billionaire?" I said, "In a very short amount of time." I said, "Yes, ma'am. The bank account just doesn't reflect it yet, but the O's are materializing, the zeros are materializing." Right? Before you put a zero behind your bank account, you got to put a zero behind yourself. You have to put a zero behind your experience, right? So all of the degrees, all of the education, all of the persistence, all of these things, all of the people that you see me with. Okay, so you'll never be a billionaire if you don't keep the company of. How did I become a millionaire, multimillionaire in the company of? You got to be in the company of the people. You got to be in the right places, guys, where the right conversations are taking place. And that's why I tell people all the time. I think Coach B asked me, am I still doing the $1 billion breakfast with the brand Monday through Friday in the AM? Watch this. So Coach B, everything was intended to get people to see the reason why they should come closer, not to stay watching from a distance, right? So there's a reason why we did the breakfast with the brand on Monday through Friday for a season. Everything is a season, but watch this, guys. The seasons are for the reasons. The smart people who was watching the breakfast with the brand Monday to Friday came in. They came in. They said, hold on, I want more. I don't like being a distance away. I want to put my hands, feet, face in the fire so my finances could get lit. And my life could get lit, and my business could get lit. I'm not really, honestly, like, to keep it 100% with everybody, Junior, we're not here for the tire kickers and the looky-loos, right? It's not about being famous. It's about being practical. I want to show you, I want to expose you to what it looks like. That's not for you to stay at a distance. That's for you to come inside, come closer to the fire. It's contagious, right? Success is contagious. And if you see it, you get a hint. Like as soon as I got a hint and as soon as I saw it, Junior, I hooked my ramp. I hooked my anchor to the planes that were taking off so that I wouldn't be left behind, right? So for those who were just watching and just trying to, like, you can only go but so far for free. So will we come back with the Breakfast with the Brand Monday through Friday? We very well may. But for those who watched it, for those who saw it, you know what we gave. You saw what we gave. It was your job to take an action and make a move, not continue to sit and wait to be served.
100%. Shaan, we're actually about to go to a break in, I think, 2 minutes.
Let's go.
2 minutes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. What's the next question? Okay, Charles Mack says it's his first time here. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Welcome. Enjoy it. Definitely.
Computer World Modern Inc. says
moving forward. Definitely. And we'll be back. We just got to take hiatuses. We got to take breaks, right? So you watch a season, right? Think about your favorite TV show, guys. You watch a season, and then there's a break in the season. I think the last episode that we did was in front of, I remember I came on a pool. I don't know if you did any after that, but I think we was in front of the pool in Miami.
Yeah, I think that was actually the last one. Yeah.
That's a height. That's a crescendo. So you guys can see what it looks like. Right. Next time when we do the next season, it might be done in Dubai. There was no laughter behind that.
So Computer World Modern Inc. says y'all have the gift. So thank you very much. Listen, guys, we're gonna go to a quick break. When we come back, Shaan, I have a couple of questions I want to ask you, just based on your experience over the last few weeks. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Guys, stick around. You're going to want to hear this. Mr. B, when you're ready, let's go to a quick break.
Let's go. Business is like a game of chess. It's not checkers. If you don't know how to lead with a personal brand, then you're losing the battle.
Everything about Shaan's talk was fantastic. I mean, I got so much from it.
So he was really bringing fire and passion and just love and spirit to let everybody else know how do you become a leader amongst the leaders.
You hold the key in your hand. There is more power in this phone than there was that took the first man to the moon.
His energy, his dynamic information, gave a really great presentation.
I didn't ask for any money. I didn't have an offer. I had a heart to help people and meet them where they were at and find their need and fulfill it.
Shaan is the bomb.
I don't talk theory. I don't talk hyperbole. I don't talk opinion. Nothing I talk is anything but evidence-based.
During the G Circle retreat in Atlanta, I had the pleasure and the honor of listening to Mr. Shaan Rais. He will not only impact your organization, but he will elevate your team to another level.
When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. I guarantee you, you got the right thing. You are the right person. If you can present yourself in the best way possible, there's no negotiation.
His energy is infectious, and I have so many takeaways from the presentation that I can't wait to get started and implement them today to see the result.
All right, guys, so we are back. Shaan, let's get right into the questions. So my first question is, based on your travel, what are some of the distinctions that you have seen from leaving the Zoom or the StreamYard in this case and actually getting into the room? So going from the Zoom to the actual room in the company of people who are all at 7 figures, 8 figures, some people 10 figures. What are some of the distinctions that you've seen? What have you noticed that is a little different about those settings as opposed to, what everybody else is doing, maybe on Facebook or on Zoom?
Qualification, right? So when you have to travel, you have to spend money. When there's a situation where, so we spoke 3 times, I think. I spoke on 3 different stages in the last 2 weeks. 4 backstage. Well, we did like a VIP piece. So 3 public, 1 private at a higher price point. The point is that everybody that was there was qualified because none of it was free. None of it was free. You had to pay to be in the room. And that's the difference. And people don't understand it. And we try and we try and we try to educate, right? We educate, we stimulate, we replicate, we duplicate. The only thing we can't do is exonerate people from what they have to do in order to move forward. And that is invest in yourself. You can only get warm when you're outside of the fire. You can only see the fire. Like you could smell the fish, but you can't taste the fish. Like it's different. It's different, Junior. It's so different. You know, I come from a humble background and a humble beginning that a lot of people don't understand or remember because they don't do the background and look into my origin brand story. But all you have to do is go to YouTube and look at the first video, who is Shaan Rais. My mother used to, you say this the right way. There were torturous moments growing up in poverty, right? So when I say in poverty, I don't mean physically not eating. I mean the mental nourishment not being provided and the example not being given. So let me explain what I mean. I can remember around Christmas time in New York. It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. So in you know, it's Christmas time in New York, right? And my mother would always do this. She would always say, "All right, Shaan, come on, get dressed. Let's go. We're gonna go window shop." And she used to enjoy herself. And I would be horrified. I would be traumatized. Because we would go downtown New York and I would see people coming out and moving in, going in Macy's with bags and having fun, and kids coming out and everybody's having fun. Everybody got bags. And we couldn't go in the store. We would look from a distance. We would look from the window. And it was free to do that. But the experience wasn't the same. The reality wasn't the same. And it created a yearning and a burning to learn what I had to learn, to do what I needed to do, to be able to provide for her that which she couldn't provide for herself or anyone else. Real talk. It hurt me for her to have to only be able to go look from outside the window. That bothered me. And I said to myself, you know, when I get the chance, not if I get the chance, but when I get the chance, money doesn't mean anything to me but a stepping stool to learn more, to grow more, to be more, to go more, to get more pertinent information so I can provide more pertinent opportunities and solutions for people that don't have them. That's just where I come from. So that's what I saw, that when you invest in yourself and when you spend money to get money, you put yourself in a different mind space. And when you listen, it's a different quality of people because people are serious. You get discouraged when people are saying, "Oh, well, I need to think about it." And, "Oh, well, I'll look around, and now's not the time. And it sure must be nice." And, you know, all of that poverty, lack mindset doesn't work for me. And it shouldn't work for anybody watching this.
Yeah, man, that's a pretty powerful story. And I have many stories like that as well. Many stories like that. It's just amazing, you know, how far we've come as a people. It's just absolutely amazing. So guys, I definitely agree with Shaan. And you know the funny thing? Like I always tell people, start where you are with whatever you have. Start where you are with what you have. And I guarantee you it will come back. So we don't say that we spend money, we circulate money.
That's
Whatever
it.
you spend doesn't come back. Whatever you circulate comes back and it brings friends. So we say that we circulate money. I never say I spend money. I always say I circulate money. That's it. I definitely agree with that, man.
That's the difference, man. That's if you ask me, if you had to ask me, that's the difference. You know, I'm not the only one so you guys know me for being the first one in the gym. I am the first one in the gym, right? So I'm still up there 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. However, in these circles and situations, there are people coming to the gym. They're just not there as soon as I am. But they are coming in. They are trickling in. 4 o'clock in the morning, they start to come. When I'm about to leave, people start showing up, but they are present. They are present. They are coming because it's a different mindset. People are investing. They're thinking big. They're thinking big. And watch this, guys. This is the most beautiful part about it. They don't want free. They don't want free. They want to get what they pay for. And they demand quality, so they demand what they pay for. If you try to give one of these individuals something for free, they're like, it's not what I want. Now, we always say that you get more from us for free than you get for a fee because we deliver super high quality, spare no expense when it comes to service delivery and giving free. However, in most cases, your quality will match the quantity of your investment.
Right. Shaan, next question is realistically, who do you need to be? Now, I'm asking this question from the perspective of looking at the levels of growth over the last 3 years, 4 years, from all the way before the C19 started to now. Okay, like who do you need to be? Because when I look at your level of growth over those 3 years, it's absolutely, I think it's exponential, to be honest. And I think many people looking would agree. Who do you need to be to achieve those levels of growth? And when I say who, I mean what are some of the mental characteristics that one needs to have, the habits, they say men and women are some of their habits. What are some of the habits, the ways of thinking, I guess the philosophy or the mental models, however you want to call it? What are some of those things that one needs in order to achieve exponential levels of growth? Because many people looking, I'm sure they're saying to themselves, hey, Shaan, if I could, I would. If I could, I would.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. Because
wouldn't.
everybody can. That's a lie. That's a lie. They wouldn't. They wouldn't. Who would trade 20? Who would trade 10 years of their lives for $100,000 a month? Put it in the chat. Stop it. Stop it. No, they wouldn't. Who would sacrifice 10 years of their life straight, 365 days times 10? Right? 365 days times 10. 365,000 days. No results. No results. Investing every dollar, every hour, every moment, skipping meals, waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, writing books that you don't know will ever be read, reading books that you don't know will ever pay off, taking courses, just studying from waking moment to waking moment for 10 years. Who would do that? Who would invest every dollar, not have no savings, not have no money in the account, sometimes tipping on red, but having faith in the unseen and belief in themselves to the point that they're giving everything that they have, lying to the spouse, saying, don't worry, we got it. We looking real phenomenal, knowing that it's not the truth because you believe in something bigger than yourself. If you say you would be doing it, then you'd already be doing it. And you'd already be seeing the results. So it's a lie. People would not just do it if they could. That's not the case. Why? Because everybody was born with 2 hands, 2 feet, 10 fingers, 10 toes. So realistically, I mean, I don't know. Did I come back with a sharp tongue? Did I come back a little bit spicy? right? I just want to keep it 100 with you. Like, you would not. No, you wouldn't. I remember Eric Thomas saying he gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning, he walks and he talks with God. 3 o'clock in the morning. He just walked for an hour and a half. Walk for an hour and a half and talk with God. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Tony Robbins sold tickets for Jim Rohn's events. Let me say that again. Let me rewind the record. Tony Robbins was not Tony Robbins. He was a big kid in the room scalping and selling tickets for somebody else's event in the nosebleed seats, selling tickets. You go to these events and you see salesmen in the hallways. He was a salesman in the hallways for somebody else. People got too big heads. Their heads is too big to do that. People have too much, too much cockiness, too much arrogance to serve anyone else. They're not humble enough to learn. They want to come in and coach the coach. They want to consult the consultant, right? They don't want to invest anything, and then they want to teach the teacher. We're talking about sacrifice for years, brother. We're talking about sacrifice for years. We're talking about being unseen, unnoticed, and unable to pay the price because you've invested in things that are unseen. I flew Spirit for years. And I'm not saying nothing bad, but I flew Spirit for years. You know what I mean? Like, I flew Spirit for years. People are too proud. They buy belts too fast. They buy bags too fast. They're fashionable too fast. They get fashionable too fast, trying to show people that there's somebody that they're not qualified to hold. That image is not maintainable. It's not sustainable because you're not really the person. That's why it dispels. That's why it doesn't last. That's why it's not sustainable. They want the flash in the pan. They want the microwave success. And that's why it tastes like.
Coach B says, investing in myself has been a big mindset and action step. Shaan, the way I see it, and I was telling somebody this the other day, if you believe in yourself, then you'll invest in yourself. That's it.
So there's two mindsets. Let me show you the two mindsets. Junior. I'm sorry, I don't want to forget it. One mindset says you got to have 90 days in the bank account, 90 days savings for 90 days, whatever happens. You know, if there's a big explosion or something, you need 6 months in the tank, in the kitty. If you got 6 months of savings and you're not where you're supposed to be, that means that you don't believe in yourself enough to invest in yourself to get where you need to go. So another mindset says invest everything that you have so that you can become who you need to be to get to the next level. Have faith in yourself. Keep the tank empty. I was talking to Bobby Jackson. You guys know Bobby. He held it down on the Breakfast with the Brand, right? We was talking and he was saying, Coach, I'm investing everything. I said, no, you're not. He said, Coach, my tank is empty. Like every time I get an account coming in, it goes right back out to an investment that I have. I said, but you're not investing everything. He said, what do you mean? I said, take out a loan. Go into debt to go to the next level. Go into debt. Go into the red. Wake up in the red so your eyes could be red and you could see red and you could feel differently when it comes to these sales and when it comes to giving value. So you could just immediately transform your situation, because when you wake up under pressure, pressure creates diamonds and pearls. These people aren't under enough pressure yet. They don't feel the bite. They don't feel the sting. They're comfortable. They're comfortable. And that's the problem. Go ahead, say what you were saying. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to make that point.
We're actually due for a short break, so let's go to that. When we come back, we're going to continue, guys. Stay tuned. If you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the comments. We'll be right back.
I showed up. I don't mean to, I'm not harming. I don't mean to harm nobody. I just want to tell the truth.
It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is. So that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I said Shaan Rais. I'm proud. I said Shaan Rais. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Shaan, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and you know, game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, guys, so we are back. Put some flames in the chat if you've enjoyed the show so far. What are some of your major takeaways? Go ahead and put it in. Shaan, I think you might have come off a little rough this morning. I think you may have come off a little rough this morning. But
That's okay.
The truth always is, man. The truth always is. So it's okay. It's okay. I want to sort of lean back into the second question I asked you, and I want to ask it in a different way.
Okay.
Because I don't think we got the specific response we were looking for, right? So what are some of the characteristics? So when I listened to what you just said, you spoke to the characteristic of something like faith. So faith is one of those characteristics. What are some of those other gems that you feel like people need not only to go to the next level, but just to survive? When I say survive, I mean business-wise, of course, in today's marketplace. Because like if you go outside, if you take a trip to the store, I'm sure you could see things are going up, inflation is rising, the market is shifting. There are so many things taking place at the same time. What I think we're seeing is a similar situation like 3 years ago, where there's a lot of volatility in the market. Now, for the beginning entrepreneur, what are some of the characteristics that they could sort of develop to, number one, protect themselves, And number two, to ensure that they can grow during this volatile time?
Fearlessness. Fearlessness. You have to be fearless. I come from a background that doesn't condone fear, right? You can't be scared growing up where I grew up, or you'll never see the light of day, right? You'll never come outside if you're afraid, right? So you have to be fearless. When when C-19 took place, we were in the streets way past curfew and way past when they said we should not have been. Me and Mr. B shooting videos. Way past curfew. We were way out of bounds. We were way out of we colored all the way out of the lines serving the people. And people were walking around with masks on, and police were outside enforcing the curfew, and people were dying. Right? People were dying. The death toll kept going up like the debt clock. The death clock and the debt clock was like the same thing. And the numbers were just going up. And anybody who had any sense, so they say, was in the house. We were not, because we had a heart to serve. And we were fearless about that conviction. Fearlessness. Number two, irresistible. Irresistible. So when I say irresistible or irresistibility, I've never accepted no for an answer. If I did, I wouldn't be here. I can remember when I started, in life, I can remember being surprised to see the age 16 because of where I came from and because of what was happening all around me. 16 years old was like, wow, I made it. 21 years, 18 was like, we still here. Like, wow. 21 years old was like, whew. So what I'm saying to you, Junior, is that you can't accept no for an answer. People place limits upon themselves because they believe the self-imposed limitations of others. I don't care what the truth may be or what the syndicated synonyms may be. People say, when I'm talking about synonyms, I'm talking about stigmas and statistics and social stratification. You're born in this demographic, you're subjugated to this demographic. At 14, you're traumatized, you're impoverished. So you believe at 40, you're going to be impoverished and nothing's going to work for you. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. At one point, I probably did. And when I believed it, I did things that were not conducive to my growth and development because I accepted other people's statements as my reality. People say, well, we'll never be billionaires. Why? Who said? Whose truth is that? Who's telling you that? I'll never speak on stage. I'm not a good speaker. Who told you that? Who made you believe that? There was one time when I was socially inept because I hadn't trained myself to be socially comfort. I was socially awkward. I walked differently. I talked differently because I was conditioned to a certain set of circumstances. But all I had to do to change my demographics and change my denomination and change my bottom line was to change my attitude, change my outlook, and change my perception. That's it. Now that was the process. That was the hard work the third one would be committed. So fearlessness, irresistibility, and committed. Once I decided I'm not believing that anymore. I'm going to be somebody different. I'm going to do something different. Then I had to be committed to what it took, what it required. And you know what it required from me? Now, this is one thing I want you to understand. This is how you bend reality. This is how you change reality. At one time, I couldn't invest in myself because I didn't have the money. People say, well, I don't have the money. Well, I didn't have the money either. So what did I do? I went back to school. for years so I could up-level my income, so I could up-level my investment in myself. That's why I went to school. I didn't go to school because I love school. If you look at my record, you'll realize Shaan hated school. Shaan was always out of school. Shaan left school. Shaan dropped out of school. Shaan wasn't there. Shaan wasn't the best student. Shaan left school. I went back to school so I could get to investing myself. I had to make more money to invest more money. You guys are saying, oh, I can't, I don't have the money to invest. You might not have the education, the qualification, the occupation to invest in yourself. So do something about that. Do something. Who's stopping you from doing something about that? Yeah, people are whining and complaining for years when they could be gaining and growing for years. People know me for what I do. I'm in college now. You understand, brother? Like, so fearlessness, irresistibility, and committed. You have to be committed. And I promise you, I'm going to say for number 4, you got to turn your why into a who. So a lot of people will say, why do you do what you do? What is your why? What is the why? There's a whole bunch of videos about the why. I say you have to turn your why into a who because the why isn't strong enough. Because you'll get tired of the why. And you'll be like, it's not that serious. You'll be able, so watch this. I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. I've been in poverty before, so it's not that crazy. Like, I've been in situations where I had to sleep on the floor before, so it's not that crazy. I've gone days without food, so it's not that crazy. I can do those things again, but my children will never. My children will never know what that feels like as long as I'm present. So I don't do what I do for a car. I don't do what I do to sit in first class. I don't do what I do to travel the world. I do what I do so my children will never suffer the same situations and setbacks that I did. So my why is a who. I put names and faces to the reasons why I do what I do. When I'm sitting down and I'm looking at a piece of paper and it's a course that I hate, like statistics or analytics or calculus or annotated bibliography. I've done so many courseworks in college that I felt like just taking the paper, crumbling it up and throwing it out the window. When I do it, I think of my wife. When I think about tearing up that piece of paper, I think of my wife. When I think about just shutting the computer and saying, forget this, I'm done, I think of my sons. I think of my daughter. You guys are selfish, man. You selfish. You thinking about yourself and how it feels. You all in your emotions. You all in the feels. How does it feel for me? How does it feel for me? You know what I realized? You know what I realized, Junior? It's going to be rough. This going to be rough. This is going to be rough. But it's my reality, right? I thought this way when I was like 16, 17, 18. When I looked at my current state and my situation and I did a comparative analysis, I said my father could have made choices that he didn't make. And if my father would have made certain choices and taken certain courses and taken certain directions in life, if he'd have did some things that were uncomfortable to put me in a better position to be successful, I wouldn't have to start from the very beginning. I wouldn't have to start from behind the starting line. My father could have made decisions that he didn't make. And that's okay. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I say no ill against my father, love my father, love the man that he was. But I got to be the man that I am. And I said to myself, at a certain point in my life, I said, if I don't make the hard decisions and do the hard things that need to be done in order to advance my family, then my son is going to have to make the hard decisions that I could have made. So why would I give the responsibility? Why would I take off the gloves? Why would I give a fight that I could fight and win? It's going to be hard, but I got to believe that I can win. Who would I be? What kind of man would I be if I gave the decision, the hard decisions that I had to make to my son to make because I wasn't man enough to step up to the plate, make the investments and invest the time and do the hard work? That's why we are first generation author, first generation master's degree, first generation about to be doctorate 2 times, first generation millionaire, first generation, I'm about to say billionaire because it's going to happen, first generation business owner, first generation entrepreneur, first. Stop accepting being the last and step up to the plate and be the first so that your children don't have to make the hard decisions that you could have made right now. I don't care what age you are. There's nothing holding you back but you. And I'm going to end my little flame throwing session with this. And I wrote this in the 7 prerequisites to success. So many people blame where they are on their parents and where they're not, what they did, what they weren't born into. We don't get to choose who our parents were, but we get to choose who our children's parents will be. I honestly believe that your place in life, your place at birth, the opportunities that you see are a gift to help you develop yourself into something that has never been seen before. And if you're not doing it, shame on you. Because you're giving that job to your kids. You're giving that job to your kids. And I also believe this. I also believe that the eyes of the world are always upon us. Not just our children, but the children of other people. People say, I ain't got no kids. Okay, the children of other people are watching us as men and women go about our business, make our decisions, and live our lives. And if we're not living up to the example and the opportunity that was given to us, we have unlimited potential, Junior. For me to be able to do what I've been able to do in such a short amount of time, that proves it. From where I come from to where I'm at, that proves it, that we have unlimited potential. The problem is, do we have unlimited potential? I would rather have unlimited potential that's not realized yet, but be doing everything that I can, as opposed to having untapped potential. I think untapped potential is sinful, and you should break all the mirrors in your house if you're not realizing your full potential. Just break them. Stop looking at yourself. You should be ashamed. I promise you, if I wasn't realizing my potential, bro, I would avoid all mirrors. I would avoid all car windows.
Yes, sir. Guys, let's go to a quick break. When we come back, more Breakfast with the Brand. Let's go.
It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are, so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle.
So for me, it was pretty much learning a little bit more about how to communicate, how I can build my personal branding and my personal development. With me, I do a lot of nonprofit work. I also work at Salesforce. So just trying to find better ways that I can network, that I can make sure when I walk into a room that my presence is felt. I felt as if he had a lot of takeaways, especially how he dissected the chessboard and like the king, the queen, the rook, the knight. So I really like that personally, because I love chess too. Life is chess, the world is chess, it's not checkers. So that's what I really like about that.
The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaway just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
All right, guys. So we are back. Go ahead and put the flames in the comments, Sean. Man, you, Sean really went in on the last one. Sean, we're about to wrap up the show in a few minutes.
Let me say this,
Yeah,
guys.
final thoughts.
If you're afraid, like, come on in. It's okay, because I'm not afraid. Like, let my confidence be your confidence. Right? If you're not convicted, if you have any doubts in your ability, come on in. Let my conviction be your conviction. Right? I am not afraid. Like, sometimes you need a big brother. Like, I grew up without a big brother, right? So who I'm going to get? I grew up without a brother at all. No brothers, no sisters. My father was almost 40 when I was born. So when I get in trouble in the street, who I'm going to get? Who I'm going to go back and get? So I can't be afraid. I can't be afraid. There's nobody to get. It's just me. Right? I'm going to go get me. Right? When there's a problem, who you going to go get? I'm going to go get me. I ain't got nobody else to go get. I ain't got no cousins I'm going to go get. My cousin's down south. I'm in New York. I'm going to go get me. Right? So I learned how to defend myself and stand up for myself and be confident in my ability to perform 1000% very early, very young. In business, it's the same thing. You need somebody that's going to be convicted, that's not going to be afraid, that's going to blaze the path, that's going to do it first, that's going to make the investments, that's going to sacrifice and show the example. And that's what I've done. That's what I've done, and that's what I do every single day. Right? So some people say that, you know, Sean, you fly too much, and every time you fly, you increase the probability of something going wrong. I said fearlessness. That's what I started with, fearlessness. If you need someone to hold your hand and walk you across the street, like, I'm here, let's go. Like, there's nothing to be afraid of out here. There's nothing to be afraid of in business. Nothing to be afraid of on your phone. You guys are scared to go live. There's nothing afraid. Do not be afraid of the phone. You love the phone for every other reason. Right? We use the phone for every other reason. We scroll. Turn your phone into an ATM. And if you don't know how, I'll show you how. If you don't know how to monetize you, come on in. Let me show you what it looks like. If you're afraid, we're not. We turn on the lights in dark rooms. We open the closets when they're closed and you think there's a ghost in the closet. There's not. I guarantee you, we show you how to turn your education, your experience, and your expertise, because you all have the education, you all have the experience, you all have the expertise, you all have the competence, but you lack the income, the impact, and the independence and the confidence. And that's where we come in. That's where we come in. I'm going to show you. Don't worry about it. Just watch. We're going to beat up the bully at 3 o'clock. But you gotta show up. If I do it for the people that are only on the inside, then those are the only people that are going to grow, and those are the only people that are going to benefit. Their confidence is going to be regained. But if you're on the outside, you don't see what goes on the inside. You're just waiting for the breakfast with the brand. You're just waiting for the breakfast with the brand. Y'all waiting for the Leadership Live Deep Dive at 5. No, this is called the Leadership Leverage Executive Coaching Community. There's so much more on the inside. You're taking free courses. I want you to understand something. Yeah, Harvard gives free courses, but that's not the curriculum. That's the free course. That's the free course. That's the introductory course. That's the baby course. You can get the little free course if you want to, or you can come inside and get the fire and get the curriculum, and that's the transformation. The transformation takes place after a transaction. If you're afraid to transact, then you're afraid to transform. And watch this. Watch this. You're not the only one who's scared. Somebody, somewhere, as a matter of fact, an entire room full of people are afraid of you not being afraid of you. The reason why you feel the way you feel and the reason why you're afraid is not by choice or by chance. It's by design. You feel encumbered because that's the way it was created or designed for you to feel. I'm about disrupting all that. I'm about disrupting all that and breaking all that up. We call it isms and schisms. We break all that stuff up. And we get to the reason why we here. We get to the transformation. We get to the money because you can't do much without money. You can't go too far without money. You can go real far in your head, but you got to close your eyes to travel. Now, I'm all about the mind power and closing your eyes to travel, but I promise you, it feels good when you travel physical too. It feels good when you travel in a physical form as well. It never rains above the clouds, guys. It never rains above the clouds. Stop
100%.
Experience, man.
100%. Guys, this has been a phenomenal show. Unfortunately, we have to wrap it up. Next Saturday, we'll be back, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned. This has been Breakfast with the Brand. Thank you very much. Let's grow.